Those micro moments of genius. I am Mark Michael, CEO, co-founder of DevHub. That is not a normal intro to this podcast. I don't even know why I went there. Okay, so let me think. So this is probably episode 208, 209. And this is the gliderCEO podcast. And this episode is called Micro Moments of Genius. I don't believe I'm alone in saying this, and hopefully this podcast is as short as it might be, which is this idea of micro moments of genius. You're watching a movie, you think of an idea, you do nothing about it. In that moment is when you should do something about that idea. In that moment is where you write it down. In that moment is where you upload that blog post. In that moment is where you register that domain. In that moment is where you take some micro action on that idea. As simple as writing it down. Too many times, and again, if this is your first podcast, this is a guy talking to himself. We get caught up in the being comfortable and being like, I'll get to it later. So you're watching a movie, you're driving, you're doing something that is inherently, driving might not be the best example, but you're doing something that's like inherently comfortable or relaxing, and for you to take that micro step, you're choosing to not do that step because either A, you'll get to it later, or you convince yourself it's not that good of an idea, or whatnot. And again, I'm guilty of it, so that's why I'm sharing it. This podcast episode specifically is that reminder. In that micro moment, get your fucking ass off the couch, right, and go take a micro action. Write it down, get to it later, finish your movie, I don't care, but go write it down. Sort of tangent to that is, I'll tell you the story from this weekend. This house came on the market, and I've been studying the Arizona real estate market now for about 2.5 years. I think I'm pretty good at like kind of what's going on the ground. And this house popped up in a great pocket neighborhood, great starter home, great investment home, great price, looked like great bones, had someone go look at it, like fit all the criteria you can possibly want. And meanwhile, I'm jumping up and down trying to convince people, people who are looking for a home, even people I would partner with on buying the house. We gotta buy this 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 house. I know this house is worth it. I know it. I've been looking at it, and getting pushback. Right? Interest rates are too high. It's like, oh, the curb appeal sucks. Like all this stuff, and I'm hearing it, and it starts to not weigh on me, but like make me maybe second guess. And so I'm like, fuck it. Okay, maybe I can wait an extra day. It went pending today. I wanted to, basically what I was about to do was post it to Instagram, being like, look, I tried to push this on a bunch of people this weekend. I would partner with somebody on it, whatnot. I was about to post it, and I went to go find the link for this house particularly, and it was already pending, accepting backup offers. Again, me being upset, jumping up and down, oh, I was right, sucks. And then if you go look at my tweet earlier this morning, again, I've said it probably before on this podcast, I don't want to be right. I want to have done something about it. I don't want to be right. I want to have done something about it. At least have been in the conversation in that house. Right? And so, again, if you find yourself, blaming others, or you find yourself being like, I thought of that idea, I didn't do it. Like, I can't be comfortable in that narrative knowing I did nothing about it, right? Like, look, if I tried and for some reason my financing didn't fall through, or it got, maybe there was a hole in the roof, I don't know, but at least I had the choice. At least I had the choice to not take a step forward, right? But to not even get to the place where you get to decide and you're already pre-deciding, to me that pre-decision is like either laziness, too much work, you talking yourself out of it, whatnot. And like, I can't be in that mode. I cannot be in that mode. I don't want to, honestly don't even want to be around people that are in that mode. Like, what a waste of time. Like, why are you already disqualifying when you don't even have the decision, you're not even in the place of deciding whether you can do something or not. And again, that line, those last few sentences, that might only resonate with the 1-2 people who are listening to this particular episode. But that, again, that's who this episode is for, right? It's for me, and then it's for the one person who's paying attention right now. In those micro moments where you come up with the idea, or you think of something, get up, write it down. Get up, tell somebody about it. Get up, text it to yourself, email it to yourself, sketch it. Do something, but let me reverse. Do something about it, but don't do nothing. Don't convince yourself the idea sucks. Don't convince yourself, oh, that was just a fleeting thing. Oh, it'll be too hard. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, I need money. Oh, it's going to be this. Oh, it's a distraction. You don't have the decision to make until you have the decision to make. I'm always shocked. Like, oh, we can't do that. Well, it's like, we haven't even tried, and we're already saying we can't. Like, again, I don't know if this is translating in a full episode, but again, in those micro moments of genius, because truly, that's what being an artist, that's what's being endeavorous, that's what's being creative, that's what's being entrepreneurial, that's what's being a leader, those ideas are coming from this divine, right? Your brain out into the world, and you're pulling that, and then it's up to you how you're processing it, and then wanting to push it out, right? Like, not everybody gets those ideas, right? And so the fact that you got it, even in that microsecond, take that little action. Write it out on your notepad, right? On your phone. Text it. We're all next to our phone, so there's really almost no excuse. Just don't ignore it, because you don't know where it can lead, right? So this is that very first step on how, and probably it should be a series, really. And I've been putting this video out. I already kind of mapped out in my head. I'll probably do it during the holiday break. Basically, it's called like How I Start, or How to Start, and that's the start. The idea came from somewhere. You taking that micro step to document, to remind yourself later of that idea. So this episode is going to be called Those Micro Moments of Genius. In those micro moments, take the step. Please take the step. I don't want you to have the same regret I have that I'm sitting here this morning like, God, I should have done something with that house. I should have taken an extra step. Again, that was way beyond the micro, right? But even, I was sitting on the couch watching a movie. I got inspired by something I saw. Obviously, it was like New York or something like this. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get to that later. The difference is I did actually take the step, right? I went and I wrote the little post, and I just sat on the post till Monday, right? And then all of a sudden I uploaded it today. But it's like I should have just done it while I was on the couch. I had my site, I had everything up and running here. And so, yeah, again, those micro moments of genius, take that step. That's it. Peace. Thanks for tuning in.